we will start your clock again, so we'll start 12 minutes from now. Thank you. Please welcome Jaidin Ross.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may try me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise? That I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Maya Angelou. Since high school, each school year my mom would give me a speech on what she expected out of me. She would say, "Miss Ross, you are going to school to learn, not to make friends and not to run that mouth of yours." I would always say okay and roll my eyes without her knowing, implying that what she was saying to me was going in one ear and out the other. But what my mom failed to mention to me in her speech was the lessons outside of the classroom that I would learn. Like any other high school kid, I was teased about things that I saw were not wrong with me. Let me paint a picture of some incidences that completely altered the way I saw myself. My high school had a courtyard in the middle of the school where everyone would gather before school started. On this day in particular, my girls were sitting at a table full of boys, hesitant, but I sat down anyway. I said hi to everyone at the table, and after I said all of my hellos, one of the boys decided to yell out to me, "What's up, Blackie?" I paused, and every inch of my body filled with embarrassment, and everyone else's faces filled with laughter. I wondered, should I take this joke as an insult? Like, is this boy really making a joke out of me being a little bit darker than him? I tried to brush it off, but those 3 words created the biggest insecurity that I've ever had in myself. I repeatedly heard jokes about how dark I was. What was most surprising to me was that most of these jokes were coming from other black people. I always thought, you're black too, and I'm pretty sure you have some dark-skinned people in your family as well, but whatever. It was not until high school when I saw my skin tone as a problem. It was just skin. I had to explain to people that I've been running track since I was 8 years old, and the sun doesn't only tan white people. I graduated in 2013, and it seems as though the light-skinned and dark-skinned debate was at its peak. Every time I got on social media, I saw light skins getting praised and dark skins getting the shorter end of the stick. And it was always targeting women. But you see, this mindset of separation amongst black people is nothing new. During slavery, slaves of a lighter skin were considered house slaves and were offered less harsh working conditions. They ate better and could possibly earn the opportunity to learn how to read. While slaves with darker skin were stuck in the fields doing work from sunup to sundown. Fast forward to the 1980s and the 1990s when a brown paper bag was the determinant of your value as a black human being. For example, say we were having a party in the L's and we were using the brown paper bag rule. Everyone lighter than the brown paper bag could enter the party and enjoy their night. But anybody darker than the brown paper bag were turned away. Crazy, but it's the truth. During high school, things within myself began to change. For instance, I would only want to date light-skinned boys because to me and everybody else, it was a crime for two dark-skinned people to be together. This was going great until the boy I thought I had fallen in love with said to me, "Jay, you would compliment me so much better if you were light-skinned." So here I am, self-conscious about the one thing that I can't change, and on top of that, according to my peers and my environment, I did not have a lot of the attributes that were being glorified. I wondered where the idea of all these standards came from, and it led me straight to social media. But it was not only social media, it was TV and movies as well. You see, TV and movies were not only glorifying these unachievable body types, but Black women were and still are being stereotyped. According to a lot of stereotypes, and even reactions I get from some of you on campus, I can be viewed as rude, loud, aggressive, and unapproachable. Negative portrayals of Black women appear twice as often as positive portrayals. Oftentimes, we are simply seen as objects. But this goes for women in general. I encourage you to not be seen as an object, and don't be objective to this ridiculous standard of beauty people are trying to set for us. I am not the only one that has been affected by the negative connotation that has come with being a dark-skinned girl. There was a documentary on Netflix called Dark Girls, and everything this documentary talked about, I had either experienced or agreed with. However, there was one scene that left me in awe. There was a little girl about 5 or 6 years old, and there were pictures of dolls in front of her, from white to black. The person behind the camera began to ask the little girl a few questions. Which doll is the pretty doll? She pointed to the white doll. Which doll is the ugly doll? She pointed to the black doll. Which doll is the good doll? She pointed to the white doll. Which doll is the bad doll? She pointed to the black doll. As the series of questions ended, I wondered if I was that little girl, would I have answered the questions the same way she did? Prior to me writing this speech, I brought the idea to my dad, and he told me that he used to have the same struggles growing up as a kid, and I had no idea. My grandmother is lighter skinned, and out of 5 kids, my dad was the only one that was darker than the others. His story was almost parallel to mine. My mom is light skinned, and somehow it's hard for people to fathom that these light skinned mothers could have given birth to 2 beautiful chocolate babies. Maybe if my dad would have conveyed his struggles with me that he had as a kid, I would have taken the jokes and slander not so harshly. But I'm glad I went through this journey the way I did. But let me set this straight though. No, I do not have an underlying hate for light-skinned people or anyone lighter than me, and no, I do not hate being Black, because I truly believe that Black people as a whole are some of the most beautiful creatures that God has created. But my mindset was on its way to being jealous of others because of my own insecurities. So after high school, I had a choice to make. Continue to let the opinions of others shape my identity as a person, or take the time to find myself so I could rise above. I stopped letting people and what they had to say get to me. Sometimes I may be rude, a little loud, and maybe even aggressive at times. But I am also strong, sensitive, powerful, and smart. I had to stop letting people define who Jaidin was, because I was the only person who could create and define who I truly am. Someone in this audience is struggling with who they are and who they want to be. It doesn't matter how old you are, because there is no particular age when you're supposed to find yourself. Take the time to find yourself and fall in love with yourself. Don't let people around you validate who you are. There is no joke or insult that can keep you from who you're destined to be. I challenge you to rise. Your faith and your dreams, they will outweigh your problems. Thank you.